let's talk about Angela Rayner. She has issued a statement today, and I'm going to say, OK, maybe this is a bit snobbish, but I'm telling the truth here. This is way above Big Ange's articulacy pay grade. She said we must tackle the profound impact of migration, and she goes on and on. It's clearly written by some twonk from Downing Street, but I mean, she says that she and her fellow ministers must accept the real concerns people have or face another summer of riots, as we were just saying. Well, you know, what does she mean? We must what's she saying? We must consider the profound, we must tackle the profound impact of migration. Well, look.
Way too late.
Here's an idea. Turn the bloody boats around. Try that.
I mean, it's as if someone said, and this is what's happened here. You know, a bunch of spads in Downing Street have said, yeah, Prime Minister, look at the headlines lately. They're not great. You know, people say you're out tough. You know, you need to say something that makes it sound as if you get it, you know. And oh, guess what, by the way, this is really significant. Yesterday in the Daily Mail, which is a paper that every administration, doesn't matter whether they're Labour, Tory, whatever, they really worry about the Daily Mail because it has mass readership. It's a very influential paper. Along with our own papers, they worry about the Sun, they worry about the Times. But there was a very significant article yesterday in yesterday's Mail, and they're not a reform supporting paper traditionally, saying Nigel Farage is the only politician that gets it at the moment. And that will have prompted some very serious discussion inside Downing Street about, ooh, how can we show that we get it? Oh, I know. Let's get Big Ange to do a speech saying we've got to acknowledge that there's some problems here. I mean, come on, guys. That's not even, you know, 1/1,000,000th of what you need to be doing. And it's way too late anyway. You know, these are such profound problems that have been created. And what worries, I think, so many people is that you can't unravel this that easily. I mean, what are we going to do about this? Literally deport millions of people? Because that's how many in recent years have probably come over illegally and have now won the right to remain. I mean, this is not easily reversed.
Yeah, it's a joke. And there are 202 asylum seeker hotels around the country. We're only allowed to, talking about that secrecy we were just discussing, we're only allowed to know about 70 of them because the Home Office and Keir Starmer and Yvette Cooper, they've all decided that the other 130 or so, if the local communities found out about them too early or too much, it would cause unrest. There might be trouble. Once again, this is this patronising, hopeless, incompetent shambles of a government treating us like kids, like naughty little kids that you can't trust. And this is a recipe for governmental disaster. And I think we've reached that point. You and I have discussed this before. This is a government assailed by so many crises, so many problems, self-made crises and problems. It has reached the point, I think, of stasis, of dysfunctionality. It can't function anymore. We can't go on like this.
We absolutely can't. By the way, on the secrecy point, I noticed in some of the footage that you played earlier of one of the migrant hotels, there were fences around it, and it said no filming, no photography. Well, why the hell not?
We're not allowed in, Isabel. Members of the public aren't allowed in to asylum seeker hotels. They drape them with these massive tarpaulins, black out the windows. Often quite nice hotels in the middle of nice towns. You know, these huge eyesores full of foreigners that we're not allowed into, even though we're paying their bill.
That's a public road I see there, and there is no entitlement to say no filming, no photography. You are entitled to film and take photographs in public places of public things. So, I mean, yes, you're not allowed to go onto private land, and if that's everything that you see there is private land, then that is more tricky. But my point is a wider one about, as you say, the attempt to conceal these facilities. It's not going to work. And you know, sometimes I wonder if I'm over-obsessing about this particular aspect of the breakdown of Britain. And the thing is that so many other problems stem from it. You know, we listening to your interview last night with Luke Sharman. I think that
Luke Sharman, yes.
You know, he talked about how dentists and
Twice a week. Doctors and dentists twice a week.
You know, whenever anyone might want to criticize us for banging on about this issue, the reason is not because we dislike or we hate, not at all, the people who are coming over. I've said 100 times, I don't blame them. It's a no-brainer for them. What we hate is the abuse of taxpayers' money and the fact that British citizens are having to become second and third class citizens in their own country. And I'm afraid that if you are diverting dentistry and national health services to asylum seeker hotels, well, guess who's missing out? It is ordinary patients who have paid in their national insurance and deserve to be treated, I'm afraid, ahead of these incomers.
Exactly right. And before we go to break, just a quick reminder that the thousands and many thousands, we think now maybe 36,000 Afghanis secretly airlifted into this country after they claimed they helped Britain during the Afghanistan war. Most of them, by definition, were lying. There are only about 4,000 people helped the Brits in that war. But, of course, Ben Wallace and Grant Shapps just lowered the drawbridge and said, oh, you can all come because you're on the kill list. So they all came here and apart from being promised welfare for life, they don't have to work. They were also leapfrogged straight to the top of social housing lists. So Brits who've been waiting for years suddenly found themselves pushed further down the queue as our new residents from Afghanistan went to the top of the queue. We are being treated like second-class citizens by a bunch of Guardian-reading idiots who run this country who think, you're going to be kind, they're human beings. So are we! So are we! Give us a break, for God's sake.